we're going to talk a little bit about both those things. First, we're actually probably going to talk about preparing for Xiao, because that's actually what I'm doing right now. As of right now, I'm actually just preparing a little bit of weapon upgrade materials, just in the event that his spear is in the gacha for the weapon banner, as well as in case the second weapon is something that is useful for me. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I think that today is a good day for me to get some of the crystal fly things, so that I can basically get some double up materials, condensed resin, and that way I can utilize them for tomorrow. So let's go ahead and just talk a little bit about preparing for the weapon banner. So right now we have what's most likely, this is all us just predicting what we're going to see for the weapon banner tomorrow. So nothing has been confirmed by mihoyo. We can all just make educated guess based on previous. So some people were saying that just because it is Xiao, that Primordial Wing Jade Spear is going to be the other option that, well, one of the options that comes, because it just makes sense. That's the weapon that was pretty much advertised with him in every video that we've seen. Now, the question though becomes what other weapon is going to be with it. So there are some things that we have seen be possible options. So some people are saying that the Skyward Blade is going to be one of those options, just because it's the only one that hasn't appeared in the banners yet. It would kind of make sense because it is just a regular sword, and I mean, it could be utilized for Kaching as well. So I could see that being an option. The other thing is that there was talk about the Primordial Jade Cutter Sword, which, let's go ahead and pull this up. So we have the Jade Cutter Sword that is supposed to be released. They announced that it would be. It's not the highest attack compared to Aquila Favonia. It's a little bit, but 44 is not bad. I think that's actually one of the highest of the purples that you can get. But it has crit rate percentage, which is extremely important to look into, and it's at a 9.6 value when you get it. So the nice thing about this weapon though is that the HP is increased by 20% of the character, 20% on like the highest character. I think it's 15,000, and that would be like Zhongli and Jean. It's like right under that. They would get, what is it, 1500? They'd get a 3000 HP boost from it. So boosting them to 15,000 or 18,000. And then on top of that, it provides an attack bonus based on 1.2% of their max HP, which is nice and slightly different because you could also boost this with artifacts, and it will not matter like attack percentage does. So this might be a way to make HP percentage artifacts useful. So if I did 1.2% times 18,000, this is not including any artifacts, just base. That is definitely not what I was going for. I definitely did that wrong. Times, was it 18k is what I said? So you got a 216 attack boost by itself. Now let's say that you somehow, I think my Razor's at 25k with just add-ons and just like the base artifacts at level 20. I would say, given where he is, he's at like 12,000. So let's just go ahead and put 30k, right? 0.012 times 30,000. So we have about a 360 possible. This is, I would say, an easy place to go for somebody who is about 3,000 above, and you were focusing on that as more of a substat. So 360 attack being added on. Let's say that you're using this through substats, right? That's a pretty significant increase to the total, or just substats, let alone if you utilize them to get an additional percentage on your HP. I don't know what the possible ceiling is on it, but I'm curious just to try this. I don't know if this would actually even be realistic, but even on a 50,000 HP build, if you're using HP percentage on all three, you know, that would be a pretty significant increase to a base attack with the weapon. I mean, even if you're like 1100, you can bring this to 1700 with a 50,000. You're just going to be a freaking tank. And I mean, even my Chong-Li with almost a capped out kit is at 1900 with not being, I guess, efficient from an artifact standpoint. So I think that it will be easier to obtain a high damage cap with a tank, given that these types of weapons are available and becoming more available for their units. Now, another nice thing though too is that Keqing is actually one of the higher HP units, so that makes sense for her. So if it is Primordial, if it's the Primordial sword, honestly, I don't have Keqing, so I don't see that being beneficial for her. I don't have Jean, so that would be kind of sad as well. The highest one I have here would be Bennett, and that could definitely still help him, but it doesn't increase his kit in any way. It just helps him deal a little bit more damage. Chi-Chi, I could definitely see it being very good for. Is Weapon Banner Jade Spear, or is it the new Jade Cutter? What up, my trunk? I'm actually talking about that right now, and this is all basically predictions at this point. So I'm kind of talking through, if we have this, you know, who these would be for. So we have the Jade Wing Spear, which is Xiao's best in slot. Then we have the Jade Cutter Sword, which has been announced, but we don't know which banner it's coming in. But we know that Keqing is also going to be in the second banner, so it makes sense that they would probably put the Jade Cutter Sword in the second banner if there is one, or if they have a longer banner, like they have a weapon banner as long as Xiao's and Keqing's, then we might see both of them together, similar to the Zhongli banner that we had. So if that's the case, this may be one to pull for. For me personally, because of the units that I do have, the one that would see the best value would be Albedo for the sword. I actually did skip him when I was looking through that. He would actually receive a pretty big improvement to his DPS compared to what I have him on right now. I have him basically on a free-to-play build, and I do utilize him in my my second comp, or my primary comp right now. Welcome in, by the way, my Trung. It's good to see you. How are you? So this is my primary team, and I can see that being extremely useful for him. Very similar to how the what is it, the Houma, the staff of Houma that is supposed to be coming through with Qtao. I can see that being very beneficial for Zhongli as well. So I think it's also just about looking at the weapons and seeing how useful it would be with other units. Like, is it a very niche use, or is it a good overall use? The fact that the weapons themselves have crit rate kind of gives me an already like a +1 in my book for summoning for it. So honestly, I can use this. I can use the Primordial Jadewing Spear. So because of that, I may be more willing to go on the weapon banner. And so when I'm looking into that, that's a big deal. Then the 4-star options are also going to make a deal, or make a impact on that decision. So some things that we can look at for pole arms is, like, right now, this is actually my weakest strength in terms of weapon setup. I do not have very many options, and so what I did is I actually went ahead and just got the deathmatch, even though nobody recommends that. I personally want to make it into a bigger deal than it is. And so it has crit rate percentage, it's got, you know, attack percentage and defense boosting to a degree. So I'm just doing that. I have it on Zhongli right now just because I don't have anything as a veteran slot. But what I would say is that, let's say that you are so free to play, you don't have any money, wherever you're at in your lineup, you want to get Xiao, but the weapon just may be unrealistic. There is another good option that is unreleased that may be something to keep an eye out for in the weapon banners. What up, John Ed Boy? I hope I said that right. Welcome in. How are you? So taking a look at the Lithic Spear, it's a 44 base attack, which is the highest for a purple. We have attack percentage as the secondary. It doesn't look like it's is it as high? 6% on this one. Yeah, it's got the highest base for the substat at 6% attack, so it's good for purple anyways. 10.8 is that one on gold. But yeah, 6, that's a pretty solid. I mean, that's a good thing for us to just know right off the bat. Sometimes they reduce that depending on the ceiling that you're going to be able to get from a weapon. And then for every character in the party who hails from Liyue, the character who equips this weapon gains a 7% attack increase and a 3% crit rate increase, and this effect stacks up to 4 times. Now, I would imagine that this would not be duplicative if you refine it. So these two would be. Now, even if it goes up to 8% or, you know, this goes up to 3.5 or 4%, you have to multiply it by 4 because you wouldn't use this in any other, you know, team setup. And there's enough 4-star characters to be able to make this work, but I can also see that mihoyo is trying to help people design teams based on certain elements, and this would be one of those elements. And I don't mean like elements like Pyra, I just mean like team designing based on location would kind of mean that when they design these characters, they kind of had this in mind. So it's really important to kind of think about. And the fact is if they have this with this, I believe I've also seen this on other weapons, like on a sword. I haven't looked too much into these like overall, but just looking into Xiao specifically, if you compare this 44 with attack percentage to the Primordial Jade Spear, you're going to be losing quite a bit of DPS on the base stat. You're going to have to build him around crit rate slightly. 12% at a base from this, from the Lithic Spears, you know, 4 times 3% is 12%. You're going to have to factor that in to build him a little bit on crit. And on hit attack by 3.2% for 6 seconds. So it requires him to like load up on this, which is another thing to consider. So you actually have to build up to having a, was it 27% or 25% attack percentage increase on this. But then you also have the damage dealt, which is huge because this is after everything is calculated. Your entire damage dealt is going up by 12%, which that is very significant compared to just an attack spike. So that's going to be hard to beat, but I would say that if you are free to play or a dolphin or just wherever you're at in your banners, there's not a way to make it work. I would say Lithic Spear would make a really, really good alternative whenever it comes up the road. So if you don't get it, I would say if you're just looking for bare minimum, I would stick with Xiao C0, and then I would go for, you know, the weapon banner if you can use both weapons. That's going to be key, because if you can't, I mean, I was in a position where I ended up getting Wolf's Gravestone, or where I didn't get Wolf's Gravestone back in the banner with Klee, and instead I got her book, and I did not have her, and it pushed me to have to go for her because I could not see use for it with another character at the time. It was just a very niche use, and I did not have any characters like Mona or anybody that could really utilize it, so it put me in a really tough position. I just don't want anybody else to experience what I did, so I always just make that announcement, like when it comes to the weapon banner, make sure you can use both of them. Pretend you're going to get the one you don't want, and then think about how you would, like, what would you do in that position, because it probably will happen. 50-50 chances on 2 different weapons, I don't like that. I would rather you go for Xiao twice and then just wait to get a free-to-play spear, or, you know, I guess free-to-play friendly, because you're going to have to still use the gotcha, but they're giving us a bunch of summons anyways, so you have a chance of being able to get him more than once. Or you could just wait. You know, there's other units coming up the road, but what I would say is when you're looking at unreleased units too, you know, we have Xiao, we have Rosaria, and we have Hutao, all using spears, and so polearms are coming up the pipeline, and there's going to be a higher demand depending on the units that you're going to be planning to get. So I would just keep this in mind as you're going through this, because this is going to be really important for planning up the road. Oh, G-World, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. You don't like odd numbers? I don't like odd numbers either. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy. I got 2 little baby Cheweenies going nuts. I super appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. What up, Buckhair? It's good to see you. I just wanted to do just a quick kind of run through. I kind of built, not like a script, but just kind of some talking points that I really wanted to talk to you all about as we prepare for Xiao, because this is probably I think the craziest lead up that they've had for a unit. And I want to make sure that nobody goes into this like with an emotional boost, because I've seen some people go pretty nuts on units. And I think that he's, based on the fact that they just buffed him 10% in terms of his plunge damage and pretty much overall DPS at that point, since that's what he does most of the time, it's a pretty big deal. So I would say that, you know, there is a little bit more incentive to go for a spear, but just making sure that it's a spear that can be utilized evenly throughout multiple different units. Yeah, okay, I will agree with you. I don't think I have ever waited this long either. By the way, Ju, it's really wonderful to meet you. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, please correct me. I'm terrible with pronunciation up front, but I promise you I don't mean anything negative if I said it wrong. But yeah, I think that this is right here the reason I wanted to talk about the weapon banner, because this is a big deal. Like Rosaria, a lot of people are waifuing on, same thing with Hu Tao, but Hu Tao got pushed back and people were pretty upset about that. So I think it's a matter of just trying to make the best decision. But Ayaka, I'm excited about Ayaka because I do have Aquila Favonia and I'd really like to see if that would benefit her. And I don't really utilize it much now. I have it on Bennett and she's someone that I've been waiting for. Like when there was that rumor going around that they would give Ayaka to people who did beta testing, I was like so hopeful that that would be the case, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I think that for the weapons that we have available for us, I think deathmatch is more of an option, like a viable option for like Dolphin players, people that just play to get, or they just spend money when there's good deals. I think the battle pass is a great deal, and getting deathmatch doesn't seem as bad of an option anymore now that we kind of know what direction the game is going. Plus the crit rate percentage on it is actually pretty significant. Compared, like if you look at it compared to the Jade, it's almost twice as much at base level. And I think a lot of people were discounting that when they were doing reviews of it. And that's actually kind of what made me want to do it, is I needed to balance my kit. So I got deathmatch, and I want to say, let me look at it real quick. 27% right now. So 27% at level 60. That's like really, that's a lot. I'm waiting for Sino and that little tan guy with a skull on the side of his face. I don't know his name. You know, I actually haven't looked at any of the leaks recently out there because it would make me want to talk about them. And after mihoyo was like basically like hurting people's channels, I was like, I don't want to get excited about units and not be able to talk about them. I don't really know where that line is drawn in the sand, so I try to avoid it because like I'm just excited about the game and try to share my knowledge with people. I feel like I spend way too much theory crafting and answering questions about team builds. I feel like, by the way, guys, I think I need to just do videos like talking through people's questions about team comps, because I feel like people ask me the same questions all the time. I got so much like negativity because I put Klee in the A tier for my first tier list, which, by the way, I even said up front, like, no unit is bad, not even Amber. Like, she's not the greatest, but she can still be useful in the right comp. But people, once they realize why I said what I said, like if I explained it with some context, people understood kind of why I placed units in certain places. So it's so interesting to me, but I feel like I need to make videos just talking through my thoughts on units and like why I said the things that I did. And so it's so crazy to me. But I've just appreciated so much of the support, like seeing everybody like come in and show their support one way or the other and be willing to have a respectful conversation about it. It's huge. But yeah, kind of getting off topic there. It's kind of what I do. But the Staff of Houma is this other one down here. It's a crit damage one that basically does the same concept as the... Is it the... kind of like the Primordial Cutter, actually. It increases your HP and then it gives you an attack bonus. But this one's nuts because it can give it to you twice. It gives you a 0.8% up front. And then if you go under 50%, which is pretty easy to do, I really don't think that's hard to do at all, especially as you level up. But you'll get an extra 1% of your max HP, so you can basically get up to like, I think at like 50,000 is what I put it at. It was 360, so you can get like a 720 almost just out of that alone. That's nuts. That's so nuts. Oh, you can't talk about Chao's numbers either. Oh, you can't. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that. I'll just talk about specificity when it comes to like triple. Like a lot of his kit is about tripling from 1 to 15 from what I could see. I heard both Albedo and Ganyu get a quick buff before their release. What would you want to change on Chao's kit right now? So Chao's kit, like, I like the fact that he utilizes plunge where no units do. And I appreciate the fact that his burst gets him there. My concern is the amount of DPS he does when he is without it, right? And then the energy recharge mechanic that he has. The problem that I have is actually more with Venti. So the reason I say that is because Venti has the most amazing Ascension 5 or 4 Storm Mine, and it regenerates 15 energy to himself and then whatever element it resonates with. And where that hurts in a comp like this is it doesn't give to anemo and whatever element, meaning that if I use Xiao with him, it will not resonate well together. And a lot of people are saying that Jean and Xiao are like the right lineup, or Jean, Xiao, and Venti would be the lineup. For me, if I was to do a triple anemo team, I would have to utilize Sucrose, which wouldn't be a bad thing. It would increase swirl damage pretty significantly, but I just don't like the idea of using 3 of the same type. Like, I don't know why. That just seems kind of boring. I feel like I'd hate the color green after like an hour. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm being crazy. But it might make it viable to utilize an Anemo and Geo team by themselves. Like, I think that would be kind of cool. I actually have a huge respect for Geo now. I actually really dig Albedo. Those damn tier lists, man. People talking smack about units. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, Albedo must be bad. I even let it sink in. And then I got him. I was super upset. And then after like 2 weeks, I heard that he can be useful. And so I tried him and I'm like, this dude's nuts. So, but yeah, I think that in terms of what we have available and like what we think about these types of things, I would say I don't think it's going to hurt you if you pass on the weapon. He will not achieve the same DPS level currently. However, that's okay. I don't think we're at a point in the game where they've brought in increasingly difficult content to the point where that's like time to kill is super important, other than in the Abyss, which currently for me, I haven't been able to 3-star all of 4 of them because, as you guys can see in mine, my party setup is like all level 60. Oh shit, did I do it right? Oh yeah, that's right here. So like everybody is like 60. I've been leveling everybody to try and even them out because I have spent money in the game, but I wanted to make it kind of as even as possible in terms of like progress as a free-to-play player may have with their main team. So like I only have Razor 90'd, and then I use a bunch of 70s, very rarely 80s, and then I'm trying to get Chongyun as my second DPS unit, or I was before now, but now I just want to mess around with it. I really want to mess around with it a lot. I'm excited. But yeah, I would say overall, you know, I'm speaking to the Dolphins and free-to-play players when I say this, but you know, if 1 or 2 of the weapons is in the lineup that you already have or you don't need at all, meaning it will upset you or put you in like an emotional state that you cannot like control yourself, I wouldn't summon. That happened to me with Klee's book, you know, with the Wolf's Gravestone. I couldn't let it go for months. I was super salty about it, and it was my own fault. And you know, if they're both useful options for you, though, I'd recommend it. Like, I'd recommend getting Xiao at least to C0 to get him, and then using the future summons to see if it drops. And if you already have the Spirit, then good. Don't summon the freaking weapon banner and get Xiao. And try to get him to C1 or C2 if you can, because by doing that, that's going to I would say C2 is going to be a significant improvement. C1 by itself, though, is a massive improvement. You're getting a 150% more damage out of his skill by having a 3rd charge added, if that's the case. So super, it's gonna be solid if you can do that. Even C1 is a massive improvement. But if not, you could prep your summons for the Staff of Houma if that's a thing in the future, or you know, the 4-star Lithic Spear if that's a thing. There's going to be more free-to-play friendly options in the future, and I personally am a huge fan of utilizing those anyways. But if you're a wallet warrior or a YouTuber looking to get famous, get famous, Mur. Be the next Mtashed. Be the next Tectone. Be the next Zeals. Then go for it. You know what I mean? But, I mean, you do you, but I can tell you right now, this is probably the most emotional people get in this game. Like, even myself, like, when new summons come out, like, even Ganyu, I was, like, trying to tell myself I don't want Ganyu. Whoa, the crystal flies! Oh my god, I had none. Forgot about them. Sorry, I got really excited there. Yeah, I think that it's been really hard for me not to summon Ganyu this whole time. You know, my green screen does not like anemo. I forgot about that. Anytime I have the green on, dude, it's like impossible to get my green screen to stay. I have to like avoid it. I was hoping they'd have like a color blind mode or something where it would like change so that I didn't have to worry about that anymore. That's super funny. Like a meme. I need to always remember that too. I always forget about it. I've heard if his burst is multiplicative, his plunge will be insane, but if it's additive, his normal attacks would be insane. Yeah, his... Honestly, I think that it just... Seeing how quickly he can go through that, like I know that they decrease the amount of time, or they increase the amount of time in between that he can proc it. And if, you know, honestly, I still think he's going to be nuts regardless. Like, look at what they did with Ganyu. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, they can't not make him nuts. There, we got some massive gray going on right here, okay? Why are we into this, by the way? We are at 26 minutes. Cool. Let me catch up on these comments here real quick just to make sure. 3 of the same element. Yeah, it makes me feel weird. Same. I wish there is a bundle where it gives you a 5-star selection ticket. Dude, me too. Because even though they would lose tons of money for it, they'd get a way better sentiment and way more involvement from the community, and feel like at least people got what they paid for rather than spending like $200 or $300 just to get something. I just don't think that they wanted people to summon that quick. Like, they didn't want people to do that, you know? That's, I think, the bigger concern is they really didn't want people to summon this much, because then it would make the game way too easy. But the second part I wanted to also talk about too is my dogs won't stop barking. Oh, my wife is, of course, doing this now. That's so funny. She's vacuuming and my dogs hate the vacuum. I farmed artifacts for 2 months for him, so mine is going to be insane regardless. Oh, dude, heck yeah. Okay, let me close the door. Oh man, don't die. All right, sorry about that. My dog like hates the vacuum. But what I was saying is kind of going into the second part of this, I really wanted to talk just about him as a unit, because preparing for him is going to be, I'm going to try and avoid some of his numbers in this. Can I at least talk about through like his ascension stuff? If this is accurate, then I would say that we're going to need quite a bit of stuff here to be able to get prepared for him. Some of the stuff that I'm trying to get prepared is, I think I have enough of... That's actually the book. You got his Ascension materials, and then we've got his talent materials. Now, the only thing is that his Ascension materials are going to require a material that's from the new... It looks like the world boss. They said the Primo Geovishap. But I don't know any other unit that has something that is like capped to a weekly grind where you won't be able to get them past a certain point. So there's like 46 materials you would need, and I don't know the drop rate, but he's the first unit that's even appeared with, but it's possible that it is not the world boss, and maybe it is the smaller versions of them. But regardless, that's going to be kind of nerve-wracking because it's going to take longer to get him up. But I think I'm doing pretty good with the slimes, because I need 18 of these, I need 30 of these and 36 of these. So I think we're in a good spot. Then if that's true, then we got the juvenile Jade, which is what I was just talking about, which I'm hoping doesn't get gated each week. And then the Jade, these things. This is probably where I'm gonna have to spend some more time. So wait a minute. Oh gosh, that threw me off. Okay, I thought that looked the same to me for some reason. So yeah, we need the typical, right? So 1 green, got 9 blue, so I'm looking good there. 9 purple, that's gonna take a minute, and then 6 gold. So yeah, we're pretty far off. So I'm gonna need to do some grinding, and that might be where I actually spend the rest of today grinding. And then from a talents perspective, we got the Taishan Mansion. What is it? This thing? No. Is it Teaching of Prosperity? Yes, it is. It's Prosperity. Prosperity is what we guess that his kid's going to be around. Now, I have 50 greens, but that may not translate to many blues and purples. So he's going to need... He's going to need 3 greens, which thankfully I have a plethora. 21 of these bad boys, so now this doesn't look so good anymore, and then 38 perps. So tomorrow is when that comes through. My plan is to use the condensed resin I have to run that, and then try to plan it so that I can use the most condensed resin tomorrow to be able to do that. So, and then the Shadow of the Warrior is what people are assuming that he'll be utilizing. So where's that badness? Where is it? Down here at the bottom? No, the crown. Well, actually the crown. We need 1 crown for his final... it's his final talent, I believe. So I've got 3 of those. And then... Boom. Shadow of the Warrior. I think you're going to need 6 of these. Gross. Yeah, so 63 blue or 64 blue books to get all skills to level 6, which is gross. So many, dude. 10 shadows, not bad. Yeah. I've got good shadows. I have like all of the unlimited material. I haven't found any units I've needed to get past a certain point either, though. So, like even my main, like even Razor is not at full potential because I just haven't needed to. And like, why would I want to ruin the game by just being a one-hit wonder just to say that I can? Just for bragging rights? Nobody needs that. I don't have that much of an ego. Which actually reminds me of what you said earlier about people having egos when it comes to their main. I don't have an ego. You guys can talk smack about Razor all you want, and I will not get offended. 18 to get all to level 10. Oh, that's true. That's true. That's per item. That's right. So for his talents, we're going to need 3 Crowns of Insights, 18 Shadows of the Warrior, and then we're going to need 6 gray, 22 green, and 31 blue for each. Damn. That's gonna be a lot, dude. It's a lot of slimes. Slippery slimes. Slithery slimes. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. We're looking at a lot. The only other Wind Shadow released. What up, Ahmad? Welcome in. It's good to see you. The only other unit that uses it is Ganyu. Okay, that's actually good to know. End of maintenance. Yeah, end of maintenance, which is the 3rd of February. So we got it coming up in just a couple of days. 114 purple books. Bro, that's nasty. I thought we'd actually only need a couple. Maybe I didn't actually multiply this by 3. Yeah, I think that's why. Yep, that makes sense. Gross, dude. That's going to take so many. But honestly, I don't really care about all of it. Like, my talent priority for him is like, you got normal attack. You got like 1.25, right? Just slightly less important is his burst, because when you get it to level 7, it's supposed to reduce the amount of time. I'm trying not to get too into depth with specs, but it's supposed to reduce the HP drain that he does during his burst, and it also does some very, I would say, minimal damage improvements to his kit overall. And then you have his skill, which his skill in all actuality, most units probably follow this path, but going from 1 to 15 basically triples their damage output. And with how quickly he's going to be having his attack speed, if you get him to C1 even, having his skill leveled, I mean, that's going to, you're going to have, again, 150% of the damage output. I think like the cap was like 600% that I saw. So like, it's pretty in line with where most of the anemo units are. Like even, shoot, My green screen's about to freak out again. But even, no, not this, not you. Even his skill, right? Press damage, his hold damage is almost 600% at level 7. So this can go up to, I think, like 800% or 900%, I can't remember. But it's absolutely nuts if you can level it up. So I'm seeing that if you can get a 600% triple, that's... I don't think we need a mathematician to explain this, but 1800% damage. If you don't have 18 shadows, you can hold off on maxing the purple books. That's true. That is true. That's a good point. See, Alkara, this is what I need you to do. You're like the person I never realized I needed for mathematics, man. I appreciate you. Smart cookie. What up, Age Key? I just saw you for some reason. How did I just see you? Everybody's got A's in their name. That's why. I'm so sorry. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate you. I don't know if I'm the smart cookie or it's him, but I'm going to have to give it to Alkara. He's the smart cookie. I'm just here for show. I'm going with 1077. I think that's a solid key. I will say, yeah. Oh, shoot. I didn't see him. How dare you? Yeah, Boba. Get him. This isn't even my main team, so this feels really clunky. I really was just doing this so I can get through the pyro and that. I was actually wanting to try out something today too. This is completely unrelated, but I was talking to someone and I was like, Albedo's nuts when you use him with Venti. And I think it's because of how his burst works. So I really wanted to try it. Gotta find like a bunch of enemies though. Did I already finish all my stuff? You know what? That's fine. Gotta go fight this fool anyways. HG said that, not me. Oh, okay. That's so funny. Yeah, I was like reading that and I was like, oh shoot. I thought it was you because both of you sound so smart compared to me. But I would say from a constellation perspective too, constellation perspective, C1 and C2 are massive improvements, and then C6. Those to me are the most important. C4, I don't know. It's more of just a defensive strat, and right now with the state of the game, defense hasn't become a priority to me. I just haven't needed it. Like the fact that we can, revive and heal. Maybe it's because I have Chi-Chi. I don't know. I think it's more relevant when you have a defense scaling type of a attack, but even then, like we kind of learned from Albedo that that's not exactly the most important. No, fuck it. I'm just gonna do this. This isn't the most optimal way to fight this guy, but I just don't really want to go into the other screen right now. Come on, get down here. Do you have official build? Yes, I do, Thunder. I would say, wait. Let me actually clarify. Official build in the sense that she is your main DPS. Because very rarely have I seen people do that, but I want to be respectful if that's what you're looking for. Yeah, I just want 3 dashes too, honestly. Like, moving around like that would be pretty dope. C1 actually seems like a pretty good concept. But I do dig the fact that they're giving us some free summons during the event as well. I'm going for C1 minimum just for convenience. 100%, man. I think that's solid. I think C2 though, man. C2, the energy recharge is kind of like... I'm kind of nervous without that, to be honest with you. Why'd I do that? That was pointless. Thunder support, sorry for not clarifying. No, you're good. Who's your main? That might help me. Might help me help you. Let me know what your bows are, and let me know what team you're running her with. That will help me help you. She's actually the main person I usually use in this team instead of Venti. But I wanted to try this thing with Albedo when I go against mobs. I actually might just go into the Abyss just to try it out. Oh, you're gonna be a dick about it? Oh, dude, he's gonna be a big dick about it. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. seems kind of low for a C2. It does seem low, but the thing is that like they know if you can figure out a way to spam his burst, it's not gonna be good for them because he'll break the damn game, dude. I guarantee it, it's gonna be just like that. I just get this weird vibe about it. It's even since child for C1. Dude, I'm gonna be so jealous of all of you guys. I'm gonna be that guy that's gonna be like, pity Xiao. I'm at 74 right now, by the way. 74 on the Ganyu banner. I did go for her initially, and then I said, you know what? Just hold out for Xiao. We're in a good spot. And the fact is, it's not even hard pity either, so it's possible I don't get him. And if that happens, then I'm going to be really, really screwed. So talking about C1 is really less for me and more for everybody else. That would be really shitty. But 25% seems kind of low for a C2. Yeah, no, I already spoke to that. My bad. I definitely think, though, that the problem is that the amount of energy that you need to be able to do your abilities, for him specifically, like you can't utilize Venti as a battery. You would have to utilize, who else is a energy battery? I know Klee is, but she's very selfish in the way that she does it. I'm trying to think. I mean, you do get more for same element that's in your party, but what you could do, you could use Venti and then switch to Xiao as you absorb them. That is a possibility as well. Most of the time, the clear particles from mobs is enough. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was gonna say is like, if you have enough energy recharge, it's good. But I think that might mean we need to build him around energy recharge. Like I'm thinking energy recharge, anemo percentage, and attack percentage. I think for me, what I'm going to be looking at for him specifically is, I don't know why I'm looking for him in my lineup. It's so stupid. That's funny. That was actually pretty good. Like, where is he at? Where's Xiao? Let me look at him. Oh gosh, I cracked myself up. Again, I might have to go. Oh shoot, I actually do have one on gladiators. I'm so scared to level this though. Crit rate, crit rate's like the only one. It's not even a perfect one, sadly. Hey, I'm going with Xiao, Official, Zhongli / Jingqi, and Jean. Dude, you're about to have a solid team then. Oh, here we go, Thunder. My main DPS is Diluc. The team would be Diluc, Bennett, Beto, and Fischl. My best bow is Stringless. So you've already got her build, and then just Thunder Fury. You've got her weapon, so that's good. Well, the weapon that most people utilize. Where's she at in my lineup? Where you at? There you are. I do not have her like maximized, but you want energy recharge, electro, and attack percentage primarily. The electro damage bonus really helps with whenever you're doing damage. Everything gets converted to electro when you're like with Oz in certain scenarios, I believe. And so electro bonus just really helps with that. And then attack percentage, she's already boosted on her attack. That's her substat. So that mixed with Stringless. I can't remember what Stringless did. Elemental Mastery. So this is going to help with reaction space. So I would say Beto's the only thing in that circle that you just mentioned that I don't like, only because I love Beto, but she's also going to stay on the field longer than you need her to. Diluc, the nice thing about him is that you can utilize him for his ability and swap him out, but most people don't do that because his attack is the highest scaling in the game. And so most people want to keep him on the field after that to be able to continue doing damage in Bennett's circle. So my recommendation would be, if you have Jingqi, to use Jingqi instead, just because then you can constantly cause Vaporize, even though it's less percentage on the Pyro side, or you could utilize a Cryo team members to cause Superconduct, which is what I would primarily do. So I would look at Diona would be a really good one because she also heals with Bennett. But then on top of that, if you get I have her C6, so I think differently of her because she actually adds to the damage output because she has elemental mastery buffs as well. But she also can cause a circle with Bennett. And so you have a double circle, and then you can consistently melt as well. Or if you have Ganyu would be a good one, or Kaya. Kaya would be an okay substitute for that as well, just because he's quick on rotation, he's always there, and then his burst will actually follow you around and continue to do cryo damage over time. So that would be a really good one. But what I would say is try those first. And I don't want to pressure you away from changing your main comp, but I would just try them and see if you like it. That would be always my recommendation. And then that way you're not divided on two different primary DPS Claymore users being placed in your team. But if you like the shield aspect of it, I would say a member like Xinyan may work better in that case instead of Bennett, but Bennett's just so overpowered. The other thing you could also do is if you have Sucrose, you could add Sucrose in, not have Superconduct, and you could add that to your Pyro side and then just cause... it's not Overpower. I always get that wrong. Overload. There we go. For talents to optimize on Official, you will want to primarily just work with Knight Rider, just because it increases Oz's attack damage, summoning damage, and Oz's duration. Oh, sorry, it doesn't actually do anything for these two, but this will help because Oz's attack damage will afflict as you constellate her up. So when you get to this, he will stay on the field an extra 2 seconds, and Oz attacks your with your active character when present, dealing 30% official's attack as electro damage. So he's basically always attacking on the sidelines, which is super big. I'm not a fan of overloaded on melee DPS. The knockback can be very annoying. I agree with you. That's why I would do... Personally, if it was up to me, I would do Diluc, Bennett, Sucrose, and Diona. Like for me, like if I had Diluc, that's how I would build it. And if I had Ganyu, I would put Ganyu instead of Diona because it would just be savage, but I don't. So I'm the only reason I'm not a fan of Overload has nothing to do actually with Overload and the knockback. It has everything to do with needing to stay inside of Bennett's circle. And if you hit Overload, even if you don't hit it on your normal attack with whatever character, it can be really difficult. So like it can just be difficult to manage. So it can just cause things to kind of go the wrong way or the circle to be useless for you, or you have to like bring characters back. So that's the only annoying part about it. I hope that's helpful though. Knight Rider is always the most important with it, and then you can level up the burst. It's not necessary, it just improves the amount of damage as you travel. Because I have her set up in my team where she basically can burst every rotation. That's why I started to build it a little bit, but it's completely unnecessary. Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that your materials would be better utilized elsewhere. Okay, let's try this shit, because I finally just want to do this. Okay, I'm gonna drag you guys. Hiya! Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. We're coming over here today. We're coming, oh, coming over here today. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, I couldn't tell because of all the damn pyro going on right there. Actually, I wonder if it's actually the E ability that causes it to be like insane. Okay, so I took anemo damage bonus cup just now. Ooh. 25 cooldown at level 16. I'm going to explore with Xiao, Razor, Diona, and Jean. Dude, that'll be an interesting comp. Zoom across the map with all the speed buffs. Okay, what up, Joan? Okay, so I took it to 16, 25 CD. Oh, critical damage. I'm like, cooldown? How do you get cooldown reduction? I'm such a pleb, dude. I'm like, oh man, how did you do that? That was so cool. If only I had Gene C2. Oh yeah. CG. Xiao will cover the crit rate that you didn't get. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. I keep forgetting that that's built into his kit. I was thinking cooldown at first. You know what then, honestly, then the other factor is you could probably do you could probably wait for, if you don't get the Primordial, if you don't have it already, you could also wait for that critical damage one later on down the road. That actually might be a really good option for people, especially for Xiao. I like spears that will get you multiple units figured out. The only hard part is if you decide to use multiple in different groups. Maybe that's what it is right there. Yeah. So I think it's his E. I don't know. Maybe it's not. We're gonna go over here because I want to see this stuff. I want to figure this out. Because I've watched it in a video that I posted, and I was like, wait a minute, how the heck did I hit him so many times with Albedo's skill thing really quick? And it's not something I've seen anybody talk about either. Xiao will cover the career you didn't get. I was thinking cooldown at first too. Yeah. I was sitting there looking like a dipstick. I don't remember what these even are anymore. I'm just gonna go in this one. What was the other one? What was the other one? This one. This one. I hope they didn't change it. I hope they don't change it back to anemo percentage. I heard they did it with Child just before he was released. You know what, Alker? If they do, I'd be really upset. Because I don't have a crit rate unit. Yeah, see? Like, they all take so much damage. Like, just look at how much, like, do you see that? Do you see all those little numbers? Dude, I was underestimating him too, dude. I love him now. Like, I used to have Jing Chi in this team, and don't get me wrong, it's a faster time to kill, but like, it's just, Albedo's fun to use.
Time for takeoff.
Dead. Oh, dang it, I was gonna try and exit. You see that? Abandon. Razor is best boy. It's actually really funny though, because like a lot of people like, so okay, in that tier list that I made, everybody was hating on me for Beidou, Keqing, Klee. And it's funny because like, I don't know how people just like, they get so ignorant about being honest with themselves about teams. Like I respect it. I respect the emotional attachment. What up, Emma-chan, by the way? It's good to see you. Just saw you popping in. But the funny thing is like, so if I was to build her, you need a very specific comp to make use of her talents in such a positive way. And so what I recognized was an extremely overpowered team originally was this team right here. I'm gonna try it. I don't know if it'll work. Do I even have anything on her from a, I don't know if I have her built at all right now, by the way, but like, it's so funny to me because this team works really well, but the problem is that you have one unit that isn't in the standard banner at all. And so you only had one chance. You could use Kaya technically, yes, but Diona's kit is actually there to help improve the amount of time that you have Serpent Spine's abilities procced. I don't know if this is gonna work. We're about to find out. But I'm pretty sure Keqing is just about to kill everything. By the way, my Beto is C6, but she's only level 30. Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. But it's just so rotational. You see this? So rotational. Look at this. Look how rotational this team is. Come fight me, bro. Fight me. I have literally, I don't even think I have any artifacts on her at all. I don't know how to use her, by the way. Like, but just so all of you know, too. This is not, like, optimal. This is, like, I am a beginner Beto user. But, basically, and I think she actually has... Poor Beto. Wonder if it was a mistake. No. So it's not a mistake. This is the thing, okay? If you have the team set up for her, then yes, it's fun. But like, she's not necessary. She has a longer time to kill than Razor does. Razor is a very straightforward unit, and it's not to say that she can't be. But the problem is you need a very specific lineup. Like, she's taking on level 90 units right now and staying alive. And I have, to be honest with you, it's literally just because of the support team she has. But waiting on units to, waiting on other units to be able to do sufficient damage is a problem. Oh, I landed that though. Fuck salt, bitch. I don't know how she's even alive. I don't think I really rotated that correctly. Oh, there you go. So you have double the not double the damage mitigation, but you have basically double the uptime on the damage mitigation. But I think the biggest thing too is like Serpent Spine is actually an okay thing. So the only thing is that you have to keep, like, you'd have to level her in order for this to work, but like Serpent Spine, basically what you're doing is you're trying to keep it from proccing the reduction. And so like you want those 5 stacks at all time, and so how you do that is you keep yourself shielded by Diona and with Beto, and so if you do that with the damage mitigation, just in case, just to save yourself, by the time... I don't know how this is even working, to be honest with you. I thought I was gonna die. Yeah, you have to learn mob timing. Especially with a freeze, that's what makes this a little bit more unpredictable. I think she does pretty decent damage for being 60 levels under these guys. Freezing yourself, Jean. Come on. Let's see. Come at me, bro. Come at me. Just want to drop you just to say that I did it with the level 30. The dick move, bro. Bitch. I use Sacrificial on Beto. Is that good? She is a support build. To be real with you, I would never use Beto as a support. Personally. I don't know many people that would. just because there are faster, effective options, and all that she does for you is place a shield on you as a support unit, as well as provide you the ability to deflect an incoming attack that you would otherwise be unable to avoid. But the cooldown on the parry is like 5 seconds. Sacrificial weapons are more useful on long cooldowns as well. So yes, so that was the other part, is that like Jin Chi, for example, as a sword, sacrificial sword, right? Jin Chi's cooldown is, I believe, 15 seconds. If you use Chi-Chi's cooldown is 30 seconds. So there are units with very heavy cooldowns, and that is where they're useful. And the reason why I built this other team, I actually built a team around high cooldowns. So interestingly enough, this team right here is freaking fantastic, by the way. The beautiful thing about this team is that a lot of people don't realize about Chongyun. I talk about this all the time. Anytime I get a chance to talk about Chongy boy. C2 Chongyun, when he casts his skill circle, 10 seconds, anything that's used in it has a cooldown reduction time reduced by 15%. So you take a 30-second cooldown, drops it down to 25 seconds. Since it has an uptime of 15 seconds, there's a 15-second gap normally, and with this, there's a 10-second gap normally, meaning that all I have to do, I have a 2/3 of the time that I had before that I need to keep other units out on the field, which helps continue a rotation. So this team right here is actually pretty bonkers.
Heart be pure.
This is actually the reason why I put Chongyun into a tier A position, because he is easy to constellate given that he's been in a banner. He's in the standard banner as well as he was in a rotational banner, and because of that, his skill, his talent ability, if you know how to use it correctly, can be really good. And now that I understand what that's supposed to look like, I have a better respect for it. But also the team members that you can use him with, it does not have to be pay to play or like with Venti. I just use Venti because I was sick of not using Venti and I basically felt like I paid for him. I am using support Beto on my Xiao's team. She's got 180 energy regen, her ult up in very short time. I see, and I think that that's okay. And I hope that when I say these things, guys, that I'm saying it is not optimal, but it does not mean that it can't work. If you want optimal, you are going to be looking at units that you put on the field, use their abilities, in less than 5 seconds, drop them out. Units that do that really well, if we're looking at this kit right here, you've got Chi-Chi, you've got Mona, you've got, I wouldn't even say Klee, Klee's very selfish, Albedo, Venti, Fischl, Jingqi, Zhongli. Yeah, Zongli's actually a good one for that too. Sucrose, Diona, Bennett, Zhongling, MC, technically, Barbara. Yeah, Barbara. And then Amber. I can't help but laugh when I say that. Oh man, I love you, Amber. You're the best. You're the best unit in the game. You break everything. Kaya. Lisa has a little bit more uptime on her skill rotation just because you can hold it. And then Xinyan. So there's a lot of units that you put on the field, you use their abilities, they come out. And it's actually the majority of the ones in the game. But people put units that they are supposed to keep on the field together. So like for example, using Chongyun and Razor together, terrible idea unless you have that stupid hypostasis event. Emma, are you free to play? I am not free to play. I have spent a lot of money in this game. And Thunder, you're absolutely welcome for the knowledge anytime. Feel free to comment on any of the videos. It helps me. I'll help you. We're here to support each other. The whole purpose of this is to, honestly, guys, like, I'm here to help anybody who wants help, you know, and I'm not perfect. I'm still learning through it, but my goal is that I take I'm not always right. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong about units. And a great example of that is with Geo. Like, I've never liked Geo. I thought they were non-optimal, but I think that they have a very useful tactics, and I'm hoping that with the new updates to Zhongli, that it'll make it even more so a possibility. So I think that Ningguang is a fantastic DPS though, with the right builds. The problem that I have with her is that it does require, the only reason I put her in tier S when I did this is because Noelle can technically do what you need to do in order to make Ningguang a tier S. Having Zhongli or Albedo is definitely more optimal. However, Ningguang can obtain some insane numbers once shielded using Archaic Petra and Retracing Bolide, which makes Geo more of a useful team now. But I've been wrong about that, but I definitely want to help you guys in any way I can. And with Jingqi Burst, it's great with Beidou. Yes, exactly. And that's the thing, is that if you can rotate through your team in less than 10 seconds and then switch to your main character and use 3 different separate buffs of different elements, you're gonna be set. So kind of just showcasing this, I guess. Like, let me actually showcase the free-to-play version of it, because I think that that's more important. Where you at? Diona and Sucrose, and I actually use them backwards. So I set my team up, by the way, so the person on the far right, my number 4, always goes first. And then I switch to my 3, then my 2, and then go to number 1. That's kind of my rotation. Oh yeah, I mean, if you got Ganyu, you're gonna be set. I chose not to get Ganyu because I already know she's broken. I don't like getting units that I already know are broken. I like Xiao because he's controversial. A lot of people say he's gonna be bad. Nobody said that about Ganyu. They're just like, I don't like a bow user. You guys about to see how broken this is. You guys about to see how broken he is. I love Chongyun. I love Chongyun because everybody hates him. I don't hate him. He's the best there ever was. Do so much damage. Just do a lot of damage. Make my team get all the energy they need. And now Murr's singing to me. Just use all the abilities that I ever could ask for. Keep you in place. We're gonna freeze and shatter. Freeze and shatter. Freezing and shatter. Freezing and shatter. Freezing and shatter. First we're gonna freeze, then we're gonna shatter. Then we're gonna freeze, then we're gonna shatter. Singing songs about Chongyun because his team is number 1. Everybody's gonna use this free-to-play team. Shut the hell up and make this a meme. Boom. Done. We did it. We sang a song together. Boom. 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 Frozen. Frozen. Just done. Just done. Because people say she's DPS and then some say support. Thunder, I have a feeling you have like insane units, and you just needed some love and support. You know what I mean? And that's a good place to be in. That's such a good place to be in. I built her sub DPS because I personally don't love archers as main DPS. Thank you, Emma. I actually don't either. So we are both on the same page. But by the way, that team right there probably destroyed it faster than my main team. And the funny thing about it is that I'm using Chongyun at 88, Jingqi at 70, Diona at 60, and who's the other one? Sucrose? Sucrose at 60. So just these 3 units by themselves can do some major output. Like, what I will tell you is Sucrose, don't sleep on her. Jingqi, don't sleep on him. It's just nuts. Chongyun, put him with another cryo team, make him, if you put him with Barbara or you put him with Jingqi, he'll be able to constantly freeze and shatter. So like that's the purpose of utilizing him with a water hydro unit. It's more optimal if it's Jingqi because this actually makes Jingqi's abilities just extremely useful because you're freezing more than one character. So like when you attack with his sword, you can basically apply the rain sword to multiple units. It's bonkers. Bonkers. But then you also get so this is the thing about that team that makes it so rotational, right? Venti doesn't really have the longest cooldown, but he does help the energy recharge on that team comp, which is why I use him over Sucrose. Sucrose increases the damage output at the expense of not really helping with the energy recharge. As you saw, you didn't really need it, but on like the 5th or 6th rotation, I ran a little short on my ability cooldowns, so that's the only thing. Whereas with Venti, you have the animation time where he's doing his flighty bird thing, and then you also have the energy recharge that he's giving everybody he connects with. So he gets his energy recharge, so does Chongyun, so does Diona. And then if it happens to mix with Jingqi, not a big deal because then you can get his burst back. So it's just like, no matter what happens, you mess stuff up. She can be both. I built her because do you think that Xiao is gonna be a good DPS? Artur? I hope I said that right. Artur, welcome. It's good to see you. Welcome to the stream. My name is Murr. I'm a Pisces / Aquarius. I'm on the cusp. But yeah, he's gonna be good. I have a big feeling. A big feeling. In my heart that he's gonna be delicious. He's gonna be tier superior and delicious at the same time. Expedition. Oh, I need to go do that stuff. What's up, man? What's up? What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Yeah. Yeah, Thunder, you just... Dude, this is what I'll tell you, is if you have a Pyro or a Hydro unit, build them around Melt or Vaporize, depending on which one you got. Do the two times the damages. Forgot I can use this. Hell yeah. Wait, did I actually... Oh, shit. Okay, I have 3 now, so that's good. ×2 Melt and Vaporize are just too good. They're too good. They're broken in the game, to be honest with you. Is C6 Noel OP? It's Veer. Welcome. It's good to see you as well. Thank you. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I say that like basically to everybody who comments on my videos, and I feel really bad about it. Like I feel like people think I'm being scripted, but I'm not. Like I actually genuinely like to know, let people know that I appreciate meeting them for the first time or like seeing them again. So just know I mean it. C6 Noel is really good. I wouldn't say it's overpowered, but some people would consider it really, really good. I would say that brings her to like, most people like consider her a really, really like low ranking character. But if you have her C6'd, because of what her C4 and her C6, I believe those are the right ones, does, it just makes her extremely versatile. The fact is she can play the healer role. She can, she plays the tank, but she also does defense scaling the right way, which I appreciate. I wish other units, which I'm not going to name, did it. Might be a 5-star, who knows. Forgot that I have him here. I wish I could freeze you. Xiao is replacing my Razor. Yeah, I'm actually kind of nervous to get him because, dude, so guys, I accidentally messed up the other day. I had like 88 character cards for XP, and I accidentally used them. So I think I might actually have to buy XP. I'm like really upset with myself for it. It was a complete accident. I misclicked it, and I put it into my Chongy boy to make him 88. It was a waste. How dare you? That was an 81 Honda. I also have C6 Nova, but that would be optimal choice. Put 2 and then use Sucrose as support. Oh, would you use him instead of Razor? Because I have a Razor. I don't even see what I'm doing right now. I'm hoping he get him. I would say this: who's your second team? If Razor's your if Razor's your main, who is your second main, or do you have one? Stop doing that, Murr. Stop using anemo. You turd burglar. Oh. Oh my god. Stop it. You're bullying me. Oh my goodness. Diona, the most important unit in the game. You don't have 2 DPS. If you do not have 2 DPS, you can just make Xiao your second DPS and build a whole different team around him. That's what I would do. Because Razor doesn't really need anemo units in his party to be good. Because physical damage just is not necessary. I used to have anemo in it. It's just not as important. You could run a double electro team with a cryo unit for a cryo unit for superconduct, and then you can kind of play around with whatever you need. I usually, the most rotational Razor team I've found is this one, actually. So how I would say this is that you need a healer, right? So the fact is, a lot of people don't have Chi-Chi. So if you needed a healer, you would run this as Barbara, right? So it'd be Razor Barbara, and then whoever is your cryo, Kaya or Diona or Chi-Chi, and then Fischl. Fischl should be somebody that everybody has, but if you don't, then I would recommend getting her for this team specifically. But if you do not want her, you're gonna have to wait for a different support. You can try to run Beto, but again, it's really non-optimal for a support monster or unit. So I would say though that Razor and Fischl are kind of the necessary components, and then you can fill in the other two with free-to-play options. And I still feel like Fischl's pretty free to play at this point. She's been in like 2 banners, and she's available in the store right now, and she was in the beginning too, I believe, at one point. And she had an event where she was free to play. Cool. Okay, you use the same team, but instead of Chi-Chi, you use Bennett. I would say switch out. Yeah, no super. Yeah, you need superconductor. That's kind of what I was gonna say. I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, having the only time I would ever utilize Bennett in that squad is if I didn't. That's hard because the whole concept of a Razor build is you want Razor in his wolf form at all times. So having Fischl and him allow him to get more energy recharge for that. Having superconduct allows his physical damage, which is what he's more prone to do, to basically excel in. And then this unit right here, Albedo in this team does not matter. I've used Jean Chi in this. I've used Zhong Ling in certain dungeons if I need it. You can use Sucrose or Venti if you really want to go with Anemo just to do it for funsies. You could even put Amber in there for memes, you know. Chi-Chi is not necessary. You just need a healer to make sure that your heals are there. You just need, again, Razor and Fischl are the main components. Then a healer somewhere, whatever your healer is, just make sure that you have a healer and superconduct. Those are the 2 most important pieces. I promise you won't regret it. Yeah, Kaya is a great option because on his burst, it follows you around and continues to do cryo while you're doing your electro. I have got Ganyu, Mona, Jean, and Noelle on my team. It is a good team. Ganyu, so you got Freeze. This is what I'd say is that if you've got a good... It looks good, but this is what I'll tell you. Ganyu is going to benefit. If Ganyu is your main DPS, you don't have anything to proc Melt. And if you don't have that, that's fine. But the nice thing about having a Pyro unit in that team is that Mona will be able to Vaporize, which will give her 2 times the damage. And she actually does some insane DPS on her burst. Jean is an amazing unit in this comp. But then what would also benefit Ganyu is instead of a freeze comp, because she already has enough crowd control on her own. I mean, she's got so much crowd control. She can place her flower, which will taunt, and then she also can place her burst, which will cause so much DPS. And if you have a second cryo character instead of Mona, even Kaya, you could basically have the crit increase on top of whatever her crit damage is, and then you can also put Blizzard Strayer on to get even more crit rate to just make sure that she's basically always critting. So I would do like Ganyu, cryo, Jean, and then like a Bennett if you have him, because then Bennett's circle is going to add DPS too. Noelle gives a shield, that's nice, but true, no melt. Noelle good for burst at least. Yeah. What up, Sayahida? It's good to see you again. How are you? I think you came in last time, you said you were from India, right? I feel like I remember that comment in one of my last videos. I got your input on a comment on one of your videos, so now my team is Diluc, Ganyu, Bennett, or Chongyun. Ganyu, yeah. I like it. Oh, I see what you're saying, just in case. Jingqi or Barbara. Still trying to figure out how to add Fischl because I like her kit. You know, this is the nice thing too. If you like a unit's kit, mess around with it, have fun with it. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. The most important thing at the end of the day is that you have fun, right? So if you like a unit, it's okay to not go with the optimal builds. Like, what I always try to tell people is just know what the optimal build is and then stray away from it, because then at least you know when the game gets hard, when there's content that you don't know how to get through because of power creep, you know how to get through it. And then from there, you can still play around. Because like for me, let's say I have to go fight a boss, right? I'm going to use probably some variation of this team. If I want to mess around or this team doesn't work for it, like let's say it's the Electro Hypostasis, I have this team and it works fine. But then whenever I want to do anything else, you know, it's just like, maybe I want to have fun and just mess around with some other units. Screw it, do it. Have fun with it. It's not optimal, but who cares? It's just a game, you know? Diluc Ganyu, Bennett, Jingqi sounds insane. Like game breaking? Oh, absolutely. I always said that if I had the choice of what units I had, it would be a Diluc Ganyu, Bennett, and actually instead of Jingqi, I would actually do Sucrose. Just to watch it, just everything fall apart. Thanks, dude. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to help. I'm glad that I was able to give you guys some insight too on your video, on the videos and stuff, because I really do care about you guys having a good time with this game. I think it's amazing. I've invested a lot into the game and really just want to make sure that I'm giving back to the community in any way I can, just to make it basically worth it for why I've invested. Like, you know, I feel like I would be doing a disservice to the community if I didn't talk about it with other people and help them through it, because I've spent a lot of time researching and understanding this stuff, and even if the numbers don't matter, the concepts do. At least right now, this is the state of the game, and it could change and make it a little bit easier for everybody, but for right now, you know, I understand the elements to a pretty solid degree. I spend a lot of time watching videos, understanding the concepts behind Melt and Vaporize to understand it easier than anybody else and understand what units are going to be able to be basically broken in any build. Yeah, build a team around characters you like. Honestly, like, that's kind of actually how this team started. And I didn't even realize, like, I was super frustrated with Chang'e when I built this because I used to run it like, I actually loved this team too. My original team was, no, it was Mona.
This is destiny.
Mona.
Need my help as usual?
This was the team.
I can do it.
So initially it started just like this, and it was like meant to do the exact same thing as my Venti and Jingqi comp. The problem I had with this team is that Taunt was kind of a pain in the ass. Mona's delivery of damage wasn't as, I don't know, just wasn't as like great on this team. I would rather use Mona in a Bennett team. Like if I wanted to build her,
I won't hold you back. Much. May knowledge guide you.
I don't know why, but I just don't, that's bothering me for some reason. I mean, yeah, I guess we could just do this. That makes sense. I don't really like double water, double hydro though. It's kind of like, ugh. I do like the taunt, but I actually...
Some in the field research?
I wanted to do Barbara, but I have a Wanderers on Ganyu. Stats are decent, 48 crit rate. Dang, dude, that's pretty solid. 212 crit damage. Can't farm the cool dungeon for the life of me. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. What I did for that one is I actually used Zhongling Did
I can't wait any longer.
this was my team for that dungeon. Took a little bit of time. Ganyu, Diluc, Bennett, and Sucrose, you said? Yes. Yes, John, that would be a good one. Because dude, if you got those units, that's gonna be solid. You want to build Ganyu on damage, you want to build Diluc on damage, on pyro damage. So you have a yeah, you want cryo damage on her, don't you? Yeah, I think you do. You do want cryo damage on her. Attack, cryo damage, crit damage, whatever. And then Diluc, Diluc, you're gonna have attack, crit rate or crit damage, pyro damage percentage, and then Sucrose, energy recharge, anemo damage, and attack percentage. I believe that's what you would do. Let me see for her. She actually might be easier than that. I feel like hers is easier. HP. No, I was wrong. I have her on elemental mastery. Yeah, that's right, because you want her elemental mastery to be super high. And then HP and attack percentage. Makes her juicy. Juicy thick, 2 C's. Yeah. And then Bennett, you want, he's also easier to build too. You need energy recharge for days, and then HP, and then attack. Actually, yeah. He's very similar to Sucrose in design. It's just instead of energy recharge, it's elemental mastery. But you do need the specific sets. Like for her, you would want to do Viridescent, and then for him, you'd want to probably do Noblesse Oblige, because as you switch to your Ganyu, you are going to want that to be able to increase the attack for 12 seconds, and then from Ganyu, you're going to want Blizzard Stray to increase the. Yeah, because the nice thing is that you will basically. Actually, you may not need Blizzard Stare because you're not freezing anything. But you'd get like a 35% increase to crit rate, so I just think that that's smart. You could basically just do Blizzard Strayer, attack, cryo damage percentage, and crit damage, and you would be set. Probably similar to what you even have now. Jean, I use stun and stagger him. What are the best characters for the child boss? I would say the best characters for the child boss, what I always use is, it's hard because he changes elements, so it doesn't become as useful later, but I've always used my Razor comp. My Razor, actually I use Razor, Jingqi, Chi-Chi, and Fischl. Elemental Mastery on Sucrose, yes. Chi-Chi or Jean maybe, though I use Bard plus Chongyun and it works okay. Yeah, that's okay too. Chongyun with it, just anybody that can cause a Hydro ring around him for a period of time is going to work perfectly for what you need it to. Using Jing-Chi is going to have more like optimal because you're doing damage at the same time, but it's okay either way. Jean I use to stun and stagger him. Okay, that's pretty solid. Fischl usually carries me, but I don't know, there might be a better option. No, I think that Fischl's really great in that dungeon. Range is great because you're less likely to get hit, should be good. I don't know if I can actually fight it, but I could go in there and just showcase, I guess. That helps. Range is, yep. With the Diluc and the Pyro set, I use E 3 times before doing a reaction for most damage. So be careful with that because if you're setting it up with Vaporize. Oh shit. Yeah, so yeah, don't do that actually, John. So what you'll do is go from Ganyu. So this is what you want to do. You want to use Burst first for both units. Because you do not want to proc the melt damage with the less trying to say this right. The burst damage does higher scaling than the skill damage. And so because of that, your melt damage will be procced on the first E hit that you do instead of on the burst damage you do. That's why you see in those child videos why everybody moves away with child before they switch, before he switches into his different form. Because what happens when you use that burst form, it causes him to do like a little AoE around him, and it causes him to do the vaporize. So they move away from all the enemy groups so that it doesn't happen, and then they use his burst ability. The Noblesse. Yep, Noblesse is a very good one to go for too.
For justice.
And by the way, I want everybody to know that Fischl is still an amazing character. She's just getting out-charactered by units that have kind of just like, they just blow up the biggest damage in the game. Mark, you asshole. You mark me, I mark you, bro. But by the way, what they need to do to Child, it would be sick if you could change his element and give it, like, let us use his, like, master stuff. Be dope. Whoever said that earlier with like, I don't like odd numbers, here's another sub. You made my day. That shit was so funny. I always remember stuff like that. I just want you guys to know, like, I super appreciate all of you guys for being here right now. I hope that this is a useful means of your time, even if you just stopped by for a little while. It means a lot to me. I wanted to make it useful, so at the beginning of the video I kind of spent some time going through kind of some stuff that I kind of planned out for the stream, and then now it's just kind of going into like some low-key stuff, kind of whatever you guys want to see from it. But I'll probably separate the stream into 2 separate videos around the weapon banner as well as preparing for Xiao and what you can do. Oh, that tickled. Also, Mona, I hate her dash animation. I actually love her. I love the fact that she goes underwater. Maybe when they release all the regions, they'll do 2.0 versions of the characters. Okay, that would be so nice. Ganyu burst first. And okay, let me walk through this. So, you would, okay, so how you would start this, all right? You would use Ganyu's flower to attract enemies, okay? Cause cryo damage at the same time. You would use Sucrose to, well, hold up. If Ganyu is the person you want to do the most significant damage, then yes. You would start with Ganyu, you would use her flower, then use Sucrose to basically enhance her damage. Then you would throw down Bennett's circle to cause pyro. If there's any enemies not affected by pyro, you want to affect them by using his skill after you use his burst. Then you want to go to Ganyu, use her burst ability, and then that will cause the melt damage and give you the extra boost from Sucrose and from Bennett. Then you're going to switch to Diluc, and you're going to use his bird to basically cause the other side of melt, which will only do 1.5 times the damage. That way you're getting the most optimal damage output. Then you can go in and clean up with his skill ability, which will also cause energy recharge for Bennett to set him up for the next rotation. I hope I explained that in an easy way. If I need to do that again, let me know. Currently AR 40. Should I rush to 50? I'm currently enjoying my experience. Dude, this is the thing that are like, don't be careful with, like, if you heard people talking about like rushing, just be careful. Like, honestly, I've kind of taken what every YouTuber has said with a grain of salt when it comes to this game. Like, just enjoy it, dude. Do it at your own pace. There's no rush. Like, there's nothing you need to worry about that they're going to bring out tomorrow that you're not going to be prepared for. You know, like, if there's content that you're not like you're not strong enough for, there's co-op, you know? You don't have to stress it by any means. Just enjoy the game, have fun with it. If you need help, reach out into the Genshin community. Hell, reach out to me if you need help. I'll help you. Even if I'm not perfect at it. Imagine Amber Unleashed. Oh, by the way, with the AR part, I actually didn't rush it at all. I'm only AR 54. I'm AR 54, and I have not rushed it at all. Like, I'm sure there's people well into the 60s by now. Imagine Amber Unleashed. Baron Bunny runs at enemies like a creeper and explodes. I could see that. Or yeah, with a burst as long as big as Ganyu's, that'd be dope. Also, if you stay low AR, your high AR can help you. Yeah, absolutely. There's just, but the main piece though is like once you get to the end game, it's just like run through resin and jump off basically. Like I literally have nothing I can do. I can go to the Adventurers Guild and reset my expeditions. I can go make sure that I farm crystals for the millionth time. The biggest problem with the game right now is there's just nothing to rotate through. In fact, I've actually only been playing lately for like maybe 45 minutes a day, rotating through everything, making sure that I'm not... I don't know why I talked to her. Damn it. That's long. But, oh, cool, I got something for it. Nice. I'm glad I talked to you. You gave me some adventurers experience. 250k? Damn! That's crazy. It is a momentous day because now we are going to maximize the Skyward Blade. I'm ready to just get it over with. So mad at like how long it's like. This game needs to stop butchering resources. So ready for this thing. It's only 85? I forgot about that. Should I do it? Oh god, I don't know. Part of me wants to, part of me wants to wait and see what the banner is. I'm having a hard time, guys. Ugh. Yeah, the game doesn't change once you get to AR 45 and 50. Just everything updates. You know, you get more for like littler stuff. I would say like world farming is different. Like you get more rewards everywhere, but like that just means you get like a ton of gray materials. You have a chance at purples. You're already halfway through it. Always wait. Alkir is like, I'm just gonna nudge him. I'm just gonna push an addict over the edge with this shit. Push it to 90. You're gonna be so OP. You're gonna have an extra percentage on your energy recharge. But yeah, once you get to like 90 or 45 and 50 for the AR stuff, you basically just get tons of these and these. Which can be useful, don't get me wrong. Sword is always there. Stupid. That's so funny. Yeah, that's true. It's always there, and it's not like I need it. I don't really need it at all. So upset about this, though. Like, I can't believe I put him to 80. So many resources, guys. It's disgusting. Oh, I'm gonna have to freak it. I didn't want to buy the packs. Like whiny. But yeah, so I am at, let's take a look at this real quick. So All right, so we have 12 times 6 is what? Oh god, 70, 60, 70, 72, so 73. 73 was my last one, so we're at soft pity. So if 73 is where we're at, guys, then that means that it's going to be some stressful stuff coming in a few days. 50-50 chance. Yeah, I know. But that's why I was so scared on Ganyu. I'm like, if I go for Ganyu and I get Ganyu, then it's still a 50-50 chance on Xiao. I want Xiao, but I really don't want to drop an extra however much just to get back to that point, you know? Yeah, Thunder, I'm actually really excited about the ley line overload thing too. It'll be exciting. Oh, there we go. I forgot my light today. Dude, why didn't y'all tell me that, like, my chair is basically glow? It looks like sparkles. Boom. See? Hit it. It's good stuff. Yeah, I can't wait for the new content. Honestly, guys, like the most fun I've had in this game is when they created the dragon spine stuff. I was hooked like I was in the very beginning. I'm like, that's why I love this game. Oh, what characters are you choosing for the event? All right, how far are we into this? I gotta remember this. We're making like multiple videos today, guys. Making multiple videos. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been using all of my videos, my streams lately as just content. I'm digging it. What is the new event called? 4-star Genshin Impact. You know what, Sekapoko? I don't appreciate. You know what, MTash? Why are you? Oh, Enviosity. Everybody's making this video. It beat me. See what other people say. A new character or a consolation? Consider synergies. Common consensus. No. See how clear this one was for me. Actually, yeah, this was actually pretty much the exact same. Okay, I'm actually surprised they put Zhongling in A tier though. That actually surprises me. I get why, because she is a support unit and these three really aren't. They're very niche. Very, very niche.
I keep watch. You leave, you call me.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Depends on, so when you're picking a character for the new event, right? The 4-star event, this actually describes it pretty well just in basicness. You got Jinchi. Jinchi is the clear winner for me. I have Jinchi at C2. And I need to get Jinchi to C6. That's like a goal of mine. That's actually partially why I went for Ganyu, and I didn't get a single one. I was so upset. And then I just got scared because I don't want to get Ganyu. MTash was trashing Chow earlier. Well, MTash has been known for being emotional at times. It's okay. He has that right. He's got like thousands of people who support him. He can be however he wants about units. Doesn't matter. Sad day. It's not the first time he's been wrong though, or said something and taken it back either though. But Ningguang is a very strong tier main. So it's funny because Ningguang, Beidou, Changyun, and Xinyan are all somewhat of main DPS roles. So it's funny because they did put Ningguang above the others, but it really depends. If you have a main character, I would go for your main character unless you have Jingqi. And the reason I say that is because your main character is the one that is on the field the most of the time. And even as a Beidou main or, you know, Changyun main or Xinyan main, having them capped out is going to be the most optimal for them. Second to that though, if you don't have Jingqi, I would actually optimize that over, because Jingqi at C0 is still freaking amazing. And then Ningguang, if you're building Ningguang, I would say it's a better option to go with. Zhongling is a good option. I mean, it's a safe bet if you really just if you don't have any of these as your main character, you don't have a need for a second one, and you're like, I already have Jingqi capped out, I think Zhongling is a fantastic option if you really wanted to, but most people who started the game went for Venti, and she was on the Venti banner and have her capped out like I do. So for me, it would be Jingqi or Ningguang. And the reason I would do that is because I already said about Jingqi, but I warned you guys that I am paid to play, but I have Changyun C6. I have Jingqi C2, Zhongling C6, Beidou C6, and then Ningguang I have C5. So I would go for her just to get that if I didn't need Jingqi. I've thought about going for that, but then I was like, nah, I'd rather get Jingqi because I use them. At least you're only a few away from pity. With a little luck, you'll get free Xiao, even if you miss the 50-50. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Oh, if it's just the design, you can't argue tastes. Didn't like his design, but to each their own. I think that's such a silly thing. Don't like MTash, he's drama queen. 100% age. This is what I'll say. I think he's an interesting creator. Like, I do value some of the things he does as a YouTube creator. Like, I think that he does some things really, really well. And people do like him. And I mean, personally, like, I don't hate on any of them. Like, they've all done their own thing and been amazing. I just hope that they continue to appreciate their community. That's really what I care about in people on this platform. What up, SE? It's good to see you. To be honest with you, I think that when people, you know, kind of become immune to their growth on the platform, that's kind of when I stop paying attention to them. And I just kind of think of that from a perspective of, like, you know, that top 1% in the world, you know, even YouTube has that. So I think of it from that perspective. But I do think that he does give some good advice at times, but I think that when you can't say anything about these units until they're out, you know, like I can tell you, like, prepare, you know, like, make sure that you're ready, because if you do go for him emotionally, or like, you're like, maybe I'll get lucky on my 10 summons. Just be prepared for, like, what happens if you do. Get those units. Here's some options for you if you want to go with it. As for artifacts, I didn't really talk about artifacts much, but a lot of people have talked just about the Gladiator set, which is a very simple one to build anyways, so I don't really think it's necessary to talk about it too much. Yeah, a lot of the game is subjective. Even my opinion is subjective. You know, there's an argument for everything. There's an argument for why something is more optimal. I think that the funny thing too is that everybody's reasoning makes sense too. Like, I don't think anybody is playing the game to be like, oh, I just want to do this because it works. Like, it doesn't work good. I want to do this because I want to take the team that doesn't make sense at all and make it good. There's probably somebody out there who does that. I want to clear Abyss with characters that don't make sense. You do you, boo-boo. You do you. You do you. There are a lot more variables in actual combat than on paper. Oh, 100%. I agree with that 100%. There's so many things you have to consider, and it really just comes down to time to kill. And the only reason time to kill matters so much is because they keep doing time-gated events. And it just tells you that that's their direction. Personally, like, I really wish that they would do more, like, mobs on the fields, like big, like, timed events where it's like, oh, we got a world boss on the field, go take it down with, like, in a zone where as you walk into it, it starts going into, like, a co-op zone and you guys can take them down together. You know, maybe like every day at 8 o'clock they do that. Like, there's tons of mobile games that add that kind of concept. Like these Primo Vioshap, Bishops or whatever, Vishuvox, I don't know what they're called. I hope that they would do something like that at some point, because I feel like that would be very fun to just have a concept like that. Where it, like, encourages co-op play without it actually causing you to have to matchmake. Like, I get it's a solo adventure, but, like, you can choose to avoid it or choose to partake in it, you know? What up? What is that? Is that Black Velvet? Yeah, it's Black Velvet. I don't know why I was having a hard time with that. I saw the 8 and I was like, that doesn't look like an A. What up, dude? It's good to see you. Are you going to pull for Xiao? I am going to pull for Xiao. I have 25 summons saved up. I'm on soft pity for, I want to say non-hard Xiao. You know what I mean? Because it's possible it's a 50-50 chance I get somebody else. Wait, is it 50-50? I thought it was 75-25. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. I think it is 50-50. Oh, I like random co-op events. I do too. I think that's a smart play. And honestly, like, I played a game called V4 by the company that made Maple Story, I think. And was it the same company? I thought it was. And it was a mobile game, and they did concepts like that a lot, and it was a lot of fun. And that's actually where, like, the game kept it going in that direction, but I just kind of lost sight of it. Oh shit. What's your favorite original soundtrack in the game? Honestly, I love the ones where I haven't listened to them in a while just because I was worried about copyright strikes for the music. I just worry that sometimes they do that stuff, but I actually really liked the one, God, they did like an orchestra event. I don't know if they've done more than one, but they did, I think that there was actually a couple of different ones that they've done quite a few of. I'm going to have to actually go through and actually listen to some of them. I know a lot of people are digging the soundtrack of this game. I love the fact that they hired orchestra to do it. I thought that was a pretty awesome way to do it. It's really in realm with like Zelda. It's hard for me to think about one on the spot. Yeah, I know it's super hard for me to think about, but I love the original one, like the one for like Mondstadt and stuff. I think I'm going to reach pity after trying to pull for Ganyu, so I might get Xiao. Hey, that's not a bad thing. And the thing is, gosh, 37. Dang, I didn't even realize what time it was. I'm probably gonna finish up here in a few, guys, but a few minutes. But let's see. I think that the thing we have to remember is these units are going to come back. So even if we don't have a lot of content right now and we want something new, even if we don't have a lot of Primo gems, we might have a lot later. We don't know what the state of the game is going to look like a year from now, 6 months from now, whatever. But I can assume that at some point they're going to have to start rotating through. Even if they add new elements to the game, there's only so many characters the game's going to be able to hold before it just becomes kind of a cluster. And so just keep in mind, like, they are going to bring units back. So if you skip on them one time, just think about the units you need. Like Xiao, honestly, I don't need Xiao. If anything, my heart, like my head tells me just don't go for it, because you don't need another DPS unit. It's just more for like, I've wanted Xiao since the beginning. I like this concept. I like he's the only character that I'm like, I want to get him purely just because he looks cool. I like the idea of the Berserker class. I like the idea of just being able to go into this like Berserker mode. I just love that. I think it's fun. Or community events like Ruin Guards have overrun the map and help reduce their number, and rewards are based. Yeah, I love that, Age. I love that so much. We need to start giving like collected feedback like that. Like, really what I'd like to do is like just have a place, like I talk about, sometimes I create videos with like my feedback for the update, like the kind of feedback that I gave. Like, I'm pretty open with it. And just in hopes that people will, you know, speak up even publicly and maybe join together and like say like, this is what we want. Because people do have different agreements on what should be done. But I think people don't realize how many others agree with them. And I think that that's an important, I love it that they ask for feedback. I also love like watching Matt Justic. Like if all of you guys play this, you guys probably know who that is already, but if you don't, I definitely recommend checking him out. He's somebody that I completely believe in, and he's the type of creator I see should be followed, because he has a pure love for the game. He also translates for a lot of the updates, which is really nice. I actually wish I knew a foreign language now. But I think that events that bring us together in fun and unique ways without it being complicated or time consuming would be awesome. And it doesn't even have to be like, you can pass through each other. It could literally just be like a collective event, or even like us in our own worlds working towards a common goal. The music makes the classical musician part of me super engaged in the game. See, I love that. I think that sound is extremely important. Like I love music, and I think that what they did with it was phenomenal. Like I think for like not cutting corners on the sound is extremely important in any experience, regardless if it's a game or just a video in general. So I'm glad that they did. If they release 15 characters for each region, yeah, it's going to be huge. But they only listen to Chinese community. They're the ones that need to speak up. See, and that's kind of like broken. I mean, I've been very vocal. Like I've had situations come up where it was like completely crappy on my side. Like definitely made like wasn't my favorite moment, but like I got through it. And I'm still playing the game, and I'm still like a believer in it. And I'm still making content on it and being unbiased about like my opinions on stuff. I'm not like somebody who's gonna C6 every unit because I just don't think that that's a good. I don't like showcasing spending. I haven't really done a lot of summoning videos because of it, but because I've saved up basically like dolphin summons, like just from my dailies and the events and stuff, I'm going to showcase this summon because I have saved up for Xiao without spending money on it. So my hope is that we will be able to get him and have some fun with it. So if you guys want to come by when that happens, I would love to have you. I'm hoping that they do it at the same time they've done other events as well, like where they do it kind of at nighttime PST is where I'm located. So I'm hoping I'll be off work by then because I do have a job. So but even if I'm a little bit delayed, hopefully I'll be able to see some of you guys come by, and hopefully we can rally together to get Xiao to come home. Oh, I'm actually going to try this team with these Ruin Guards. Think too much to translate our feedback, then send it to them. Too much work for them. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Damn, I didn't even really realize that. Like, you know, I'm kind of intrigued though, because like a lot of times English is actually a required second language in almost every other part of the world now because of it being kind of the medium language, as well as other continents having such a basically like a higher education because of it, because they're so versatile in their abilities. Do you stream regularly? I do stream regularly. I typically do stream on Twitch, and if any of you guys did want to support me in any way, there's two ways for free, essentially, and that is, why are you just staying where you're staying? And that is, I am a, what is it, an Epic creator, like on the Epic Game Store. I used to play Fortnite a lot. I've started kind of getting back into it a little bit on my downtime, just for something kind of like mindless for me to do. So, but I am an Epic creator, so if you guys do play Epic games, anytime you guys make purchases, you can always just put Murrflex in there. And then I do stream on Twitch. I make all my own emotes for the channel as well. And so if you guys wanted to show support, you can. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Prime subscription each month. It does go a long way for me. Kind of helps make it worth the time investment that I put into all this, but definitely not necessary, or just something that I deeply appreciate if you can do. But of course, if you don't really utilize Twitch, it's totally fine too. But I try to stream at least once a week. Sometimes it's really hard when I'm trying to churn out content on the YouTube side of things. I will be streaming on Twitch tonight. I'll probably be doing a little bit of variety stuff though. I probably will be doing, I do a lot of scary games and stuff with friends, and like we've been playing one called Devour lately. That's been a lot of fun. It just came out. So if you like watching people get scared, that's another way to interact with me. But yeah, I'd love to have you. And you seem pretty cool. Thank you, Arthur. I appreciate that. It's really hard. I'll tell you right now, it's so hard for me to like be myself on videos where I'm creating like recording content, because I feel like I'm just trying to give people what they're looking for, you know? Like obviously they find a video for that. But I've made less like videos that are just kind of like fun free. So that's kind of why I've been trying to do a lot of my streams, because I don't know, like I love connecting with all of you guys through here, and so then I think people get to kind of see what I'm all about. Makes it a little bit easier to realize that my personality, rather than, I think everybody kind of makes those assumptions about creators that we're kind of just douchey and just try to get clickbaity stuff out there. I try not to be that guy. I've been that guy. I've tried to be like, ooh, I wonder if I put a thumbnail like this, people will watch my video. Then people hated on it, so I was like, I'm done doing that. It was experimental. But yeah, I also put all of my socials and stuff in my descriptions of the videos, so that way if you guys do want to follow me there. I'm not super active on some of them, but I do try to post like if I'm delayed, like from a stream, and I also try to post content about stuff like that. But I am planning to do some giveaways. I've been trying to like contemplate. I've been talking to the wife about like what I should do in terms of like stuff, and I was thinking about maybe like a gift card, like a $25 gift card or something like that to help with summons. You know, if for just because. Man, I wish I can beat 4 rune guards without dying, bro. So this right here, this team, okay, this was something that I realized. So freezing these guys is really like the only way that I've discovered that it really works. If I use my Razor comp, dude, they screw me up so bad. And it's like, because it's like, it's really hard to hit one of them in the eye without the others using their stupid little missile things. And then one of my characters always dies through that. So a freeze comp works so much better. I'm gonna appreciate you too. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Y'all seriously like rock. Honestly, like I say it every single time. I'm like, every time I start up a stream on YouTube, I'm like, I really hope people come this time. And then everybody shows up and I'm like, you guys are the freaking best. You guys like always come by, even if it's a little bit earlier in the day. But I am going to stop here tonight on the YouTube side of things. If you do want to come check out the Twitch side, I might be popping on probably around like 9 o'clock p.m. PST, which is about 2 hours from now. I'm going to play, I promised my kiddo I was going to play some Roblox with them. So I'm going to go do that for a little bit. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking with all of you. Again, feel free to check out any of the content, ask any questions you want, whatever you guys need. And if you want to join the Discord as well, feel free to do that. I think there's a link in the description as well for that. If not, I'll update it. And you guys can always come in there, ask questions. I also post like a bunch of stuff like I do a bunch of like art for like my emotes on the Twitch side. So I like to post stuff like that, as well as like just talk about the game and stuff. So feel free to come in. Have a good night, everybody. See you next time.